I just want to point out that we stand firm on the status quo, and people do have choice, but death is never the right choice. So to their harm may, I like to point out that their evidence, Mr. Nicholson said he has a stroke and left me paralyzed below the neck and unable to speak. Well, if you're paralyzed below the neck and you're unable to speak, you can't really say anything. And then he says he can't even pick his nose, and he has to have someone else to scratch it for him. You can't write anything. So this man, obviously, he needs help in every aspect of life, but there's no way of telling how you could actually communicate with him. And to actually to show that illnesses are not really the problem here, it's depression. I have evidence saying pain is not the main reason for patients wanting to die. It says no study has ever shown that pain plays a major role in motivating patients' requests for physician-assisted suicide or euthanasia. Depression and other forms of mental distress, which of course a sort of pain, are by far more common motivator. And this is from the Washington Post, which we all know from earlier debates is a very reliable source.
Would you signpost, please, Ruben? We're getting a little lost.
Oh, I'm still on harm A.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, and then to harm B, they're saying there you could you gain money from killing all these patients off, but it's $90 for a lethal injection, and you have $1,522 lost for every single patient. That's on average. Now, $1,522 is a lot of money to go out towards nurses, nurses, hospitals, doctors. All of that is pretty much just tossed away. And then let's see here. And then for their harm C, many patients and families will suffer severe pain in watching a terminal patient die. That's really life. Nothing's gonna be really easy. I mean, take the poor for example. They're still around begging, trying to find a better life for themselves. So, and it's not always families suffer, because I currently work in a retirement home as a server, and they talk to us about how families actually abuse these people, and those are related cases to why elderly people want to die. So, and when I look at their evidence too for harm C, it says Nicholson's condition meant he was unable to commit assisted suicide, and the only way he could end his life was by voluntary euthanasia. To me, those are basically saying the same things. You're just having a physician killing you instead of someone random. And I have the definitions right here. Is also called mercy killing, the act of putting to death painlessly or allowing to die as withholding extreme medical measures a person or animal suffering from incurable, especially a painful disease or condition. And then suicide is assisted suicide is suicide facilitated by another person, especially a physician, who organizes the logistics of suicide by providing the necessary quantities of poison, which is the same thing, because they want to inject lethal poisons into a terminally ill elderly person. Alright. And then, hitting on their mandates, voluntary euthanasia will be legalized. Mandate A, voluntary euthanasia will be legalized for patients in specific terminal illnesses by the federal government. That's saying one person can justify their death just because they have a terminal illness, when people who try to commit suicide every day get in trouble for it because their lives completely suck. So you can't justify death one way or another. It's either you live it out all the way to the end, or it's pretty much just too bad for you. I hate to be so cruel cruel, but you know that's just how life is. And then, in an instance where a person is unconscious for an extended period of time, a living will decide whether or not euthanasia should be administered. Yet again, families could use this to easily take advantage of their elderly for their retirement money or for anything like that. It's not uncommon, but you know, and it happens quite often. If someone's not in their state of mind, they're not going to be able to know any differently. And then these living are given that